Good afternoon, and the warmest of welcomes indeed to today's iOB business webinar. It's a pleasure to have you on here. My name is Ben, and I'm the resident business coach here at iOB Business. Now, before we get kicked off with today's session, just a couple of things to go over before we get kicked off with today's webinar to make sure that you have the best possible experience on today's session. Okay. So once again, my name is Ben, and I'm going to do a brief introduction with you right before we get kicked off. It's just a couple of minutes whilst we're waiting for everybody to join us on today's session. Now, if this is your first time joining us on one of these webinars, you're more than welcome to ask questions throughout today's session. Okay. Now, if you would like to ask any questions, you can do so in the gray Q&A box at the bottom of the screen there, and you can go ahead and in between any of the three topics, or even indeed throughout the webinar, you can ask any questions, which we'll answer for you at the end of the webinar, which is going to run for around about 15 to 20 minutes, by the way, and then we'll get you there in the end at the Q&A session. Okay, so it's also important to note that throughout today's session, in between each of the three topics, I'm going to stop and give you a brief moment to jot down any notes and indeed fire away with any questions that you might have on today's session as well. Now, if you've been with us before, this isn't your first time, you'll be more than familiar with how these run. Okay, fantastic. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and switch off my camera. So you shouldn't be able to see my face anymore, but you should still be able to hear my voice. So please do let me know in the chat box if that's all good and all clear. And then once I have that confirmation, we will get ready with three main concerns of every new business owner. Okay. Wonderful. Just pop a one thumbs up in the chat box. Let me know. Awesome. Nice one. All good. All clear. Fabulous. That's what we like to hear. Okay, cool. So today's session, three main concerns of every new business owner. Let's get ourselves kicked off for today. Okay, so your presenter is myself. My name is Ben, and I am a business coach. I specialize in working with small businesses, just like many of you on here today, many of you aspiring to be business owners on here today, to help them achieve stability and growth. Okay, we always have a wonderful blend of wonderful entrepreneurs on these webinars. So it's awesome to have you here. Thank you so much. Okay, so the discussion points today, three main topics. Number one, what if I get no clients or I make no sales? Okay, so we're discussing the three main concerns that I have heard as a business coach of every single new business owner. We're going to debunk some myths. We are going to outline some really good information for you today. But more importantly, hopefully, we're going to squash any concerns that you've got. So number two, I don't have the time to take care of a business. That's one I hear so many times, and I'm going to show you exactly how we can overcome this one. And number three, I don't know how to run a business. Okay, cool. Neither did anybody else when they got started. Okay, so let's get cracking with topic number one of today's session. Main concern number one, what if I get no clients or in fact, I make no sales? Scary. Okay, so first point here, the only way that you're going to know is if you try. Okay, now I will tell you the absolute number one way to guarantee that you never get any sales is by never launching that business. That is the only surefire way to absolutely make sure 110% positively guarantee that you never, ever get any sales. Okay, and this is something that's so crucial that we bear in mind as we're going forward, because we must begin to work and very much concentrate on this philosophy that the only way we're going to know is if we try. Okay, nobody ever knew for a guaranteed fact that, okay, well, if I do this, then I'm absolutely going to get a sale. Every marketing campaign, every advertising campaign, every new service offering, every chance that that business owner took was a risk. Okay, now that's what business is. It's a series of calculated risks and strategic decision making in order for you to do what you believe is best. Okay, then we have things that begin to help us. We have brand recognition, we have customer retention. We have these things that help us on an ongoing basis. But right at the very start, it is completely on us to do the maths, do the calculations, do the research, get the education, and then put together a strategic decision-making process for whatever we believe is going to be best for the start and therefore future of our business. So the only way that you're going to know is if you try. Okay, now here's something else that I'll tell you. There's a buyer out there for the right offer. Now, this is something I want you to bear in mind, because if you are an experienced business owner and you've seen a lack of sales lately, or if you're a new business owner and you're struggling to get any sales to get you off the ground, or you're not a business owner yet, and you're thinking about what it is that you could actually sell someone, or a business, there's a buyer out there for the right offer. Now, this is something that I need you to keep in mind whenever it is that you're thinking about crafting an offer to put together for a prospective client or prospective customer. The logic that there is a buyer out there for the right offer. Now, we should highlight this: right offer. Okay, now that is absolutely crucial when we're thinking about putting a service offering together or a product together. Who's going to buy this? How much money is it going to cost? For what purpose would they need it? For what purpose would they want it? What are they going to do with this service or product? How will that service or product make them feel? Consider yourself. What have you bought lately? What have you bought in the past 24 hours? Why did you buy it? Did you buy it because it was cheap? Did you buy it because it was on offer? Did you buy it because it solved the problem that you have? Did you buy bread and milk from the shop? Why? Because you were hungry. Why? Because you needed supplies for the house. Why? Because you have a family to feed. Okay, that right then and there was the right offer for you. The bread was there, the milk was there, it was a reasonable price in the right shop at the right time, the right location, with the right necessity to solve your problem there and then. That's why you bought it. Okay, there's a buyer out there for the right offer. People buy things all the time. And one myth that I would like to debunk, completely get rid of, is that nobody buys anything anymore. Nobody's worth the feeling of investing in things anymore. Nobody fancies that, okay? Nobody fancies taking a chance. Nobody fancies taking a risk. That is absolutely not true. There are many, many, many successful businesses out there right now earning money right at this very moment. There is a buyer out there for the right offer. So if you're not selling, the chances are you're going to the wrong buyer or you've got the wrong offer, okay? This is something that I need you to bear in mind because it'll be absolutely crucial going forwards with your business. Now, a mistake that we can make as new business owners is assuming that we know there are no buyers for our products, okay? Now, as a new business owner, your mindset, your mentality is everything. Why? Because it will filter through into everything that you do. If you have a philosophy or you have a mindset that says to you, no, I'm not going to sell anything. It's rubbish. It's a waste of time. Don't bother buying from me. Guess what you're going to do? You're going to deter every potential buyer from your business, whether you mean it or not. If you truly believe that your product or service has no value, no quality, no benefit to anybody that's buying it, that's going to infect every single part of your being, your speech, your mentality, your mindset, the way you approach people, the way you convey yourself. This lack of self-belief is going to crush your business before it's even started. Okay, and this is an enormous mistake, possibly one of the biggest mistakes that you can make. You absolutely have to believe that the product or service that you are offering has significant value, because when you begin to truly believe that, you will then feel different. You will feel capable. You will feel confident. You will feel powerful. When you speak to somebody about your business, they will see the enthusiasm, the passion in your eyes, because they will truly see that you believe that whatever it is that you're offering can work 110%. Okay. So you need to get this thought out of your head that there are no buyers for your product or service, because there absolutely is. And there may even be buyers in abundance if you take the right offer to the right person. Okay. Now, what we need to think about is how many sales you need for your business to become a success. Okay, so everybody defines success in a different way. For some people, that's earning £500 a month. For some people, that's buying themselves some more time. For some people, it's simply being able to enjoy more of what they love, spending time with family, going on trips, taking time off, resting, relaxing, reading books. Okay, success is defined differently by every single person that you will meet. If I asked you, and you, how you would define success, I bet all three of you would give me different answers. Okay, for some it's money, for some it's time, for some it's freedom, for some it's something else. So what we've got to look at is how many sales you need to make for your business to become a success in your eyes. Do you need £1,000 a month, £5,000 a month, £10,000 a month, or do you just need one sale? Okay, what does it look like? And start thinking about this, because using this math and using this logic, you'll then begin to work out what you actually must achieve in order for you to be happy with whatever it is that you're looking at in the screen in front of you, and in the cash in your bank account, and in the amount of quality time that you get at home with your family, on trips or whatever. Okay. Now, for some, if we're trying to reach £1,000 a month, maybe that's selling 10 services at £100 a month each. maybe that's selling 5 services at £200 a month each. If we need to hit 10 grand a month, maybe that's selling 10 services at £1,000 a month each. Or maybe that's selling one website for £10,000. Okay. Just think about how many sales you need to make for your business to become a success. And you'll find that you start breaking down this yearly figure into quarterly figures, into monthly, weekly, daily figures, it's actually very achievable. Okay, because we're looking at it, we're thinking about it in a very, very different way. So that brings us to the end of topic number 1, where we're talking about what if I get no clients or make no sales. We've debunked some myths, we've hit home with some hard truths, and hopefully it's all making sense so far. So please do feel free to take a moment to yourself now, jot down any notes you might want to take, and indeed fire away with any questions that you're going to have for me, and I'll get them in a Q&A session at the end of today's webinar for you. Wonderful. So let's get moving now on to topic number 2. I don't have the time to take care of a business. If I could tell you how many times I've heard this one. Okay, so here's the first thing we're going to talk about. There's absolutely spare time in your day, even if it's just 30 minutes, even if it's just 15 minutes. Okay, there is spare time in your day somewhere, whether it's when you wake up in the morning, whether it's when you're just before you make dinner, whether it's after you put the kids to bed, whether it's after you got in from work, whether it's on the train on the way to work. There is spare time somewhere. Now, next time, a really good exercise for this, if you truly believe that there is no spare time in your day in any way whatsoever, I want you to think about this. Keep it in your mind as you go through tomorrow, okay? Don't worry about today. Focus on what you can look at tomorrow, okay? Through your day, whether you're playing on your phone, whether you're scrolling through Facebook, whether you're watching TV, whether you're reading a book that's just, you're not learning anything, you're just doing it for enjoyment, which is wonderful, by the way. But next time you're doing these things, think about it and say, well, look, how much time am I spending doing this? If I just spent 20 minutes on Facebook, if I just spent 40 minutes watching a TV program, okay, now that's a choice. Now, I know, I understand, and I have heard before, well, I watch TV because it relaxes me. I watch TV because it helps me feel happy when I get in from work. It's one of my comforts. Don't get me wrong, I do that too. I understand it completely and abundantly. But we have to make a decision here. If you're watching 3 hours of TV a night, could you take just half an hour out of that window and spend it on working on a new business for yourself, spending it on working on a new life for yourself, okay? Now, the thing is here, we've got to think about vision. You have to believe so deeply and so strongly in whatever it is that you're working towards is better than what you're doing in that exact moment in time. Because working on a business isn't always fun. Doing research, studying, getting new education isn't always fun, okay? But it is incredibly useful. But let's think about whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. That has to excite you so much that you truly believe it is better than spending that 30 minutes watching that TV program that's in front of you right now. That program isn't going anywhere. That's still going to be there in 30 minutes time. So maybe you just get 2.5 hours in front of the TV tonight instead of 3. But the crucial part is that you spend 30 minutes working towards something bigger than yourself, which is your vision. Whatever that dream is that you have, if it doesn't excite you more than watching the program on television, you're not dreaming big enough, and that's the truth, okay? So there's absolutely spare time in your day, even if it's just 30 minutes. So when you go through your day tomorrow, look at what you're doing. Think about the time that you're spending on social media or watching TV or just generally messing around, not doing anything necessarily productive, okay? Fun, I personally believe, is what life is all about. But we also have things we've got to take care of. And when we're working towards a bigger vision, that takes work. And if you want to enjoy yourself in years to come, you've got to put in the work now. Okay? So remember this, Rome wasn't built in a day and neither was your business. And we can apply this analogy to almost anything. You're looking at building something bigger than yourself. You're building a business, or you're sculpting a new physique, or you're getting into a new way of a healthy lifestyle. It wasn't built in the day. It doesn't happen overnight. You cannot snap your fingers and just make something happen. But consistency, each day, you do it for long enough, you do the right actions at the right time with the right people if necessary, you continually build something, eventually you will begin to see the results of your labor. You will begin to reap the benefits of your hard work, okay? And there's little wins along the way. And people always say, and I believe in this as well, enjoy the journey, stop focusing on the destination. Enjoy the fact that you're building a business. Enjoy the fact that you're sculpting a new physique. Enjoy the fact that you're enjoying new benefits of a healthier, more productive lifestyle or a new business. Okay, Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither was your business. So dedication is the key word here. Dedicate small amounts of time on a regular basis, 30 minutes a day. Even just 5 days a week, it begins to accumulate. That's 2.5 hours a week, 10 hours a month. Okay, that's 120 hours a year. Now, if I said to you, what could you achieve in 120 hours? Well, 120 hours is 3 full working weeks for us normal people. Okay, 9 a.m. till 5 p.m., 5 days a week is 40 hours. Now, if you spent 120 hours at the end of the year just from doing half an hour a day, 5 days a week, that's pretty significant. That's 3 full working weeks. Okay, what could you do with that much time? Now, that's something to think about. Okay, so dedication is the key word. Dedicate small amounts of time on a regular basis, and you will eventually begin to see the fruits of your labor. Now, be clever with your time management. Find space to make updates, meet prospects, make sales. Okay, we're going to have to be careful with how we do this, because if we're dedicating 30 minutes a day towards our business, we've got to make sure that that 30 minutes, something can be done. Even if we're responding to emails, we're working on new graphics, we're designing new content, we're writing new articles, we're designing videos, promotional content, or we're doing service delivery. Okay, we've got to be clever with this time management. Okay, because sometimes if we're working on it like 11 o'clock at night, we can't schedule calls in 11 o'clock at night. So we've got to think about, well, when can I do that call? If a client needs a call, could I call them on the train on the way to work? Okay, this is what I did when I was launching my business. I was still working at a normal, if you like, corporate job, and I was taking client calls on the train on the way to work in the morning. Okay, so you've got to be clever with your time management. Think about when you can fit these things around. The 30 minutes doesn't have to be in a block. You can have a 10-minute phone call in the morning. You can do 15 minutes at lunchtime on admin or just tidying bits and pieces up, and you can do 5 minutes responding to emails on the train on the way home. That's your 30 minutes, done. Okay, so find space to make updates, meet prospects, and make sales. You can meet prospects on your lunch break at work. Okay, there is absolutely, well, when there's a will, there's a way. Okay, I was going to say there's absolutely a way to do it, but that's a popular saying for a reason. When there's a will, there's a way. Okay, so that brings us to the end of topic number 2. I'm going to give you a brief moment now to jot down on your notes, and indeed do fire away with any questions that you have, and I'll see you again in just a moment's time for the third and final topic on today's session. Wonderful. So let's get started with topic number 3 on today's session. I don't know how to run a business. Okay. So this is something that I hear so often as a business coach, and something that I really, really want to help you work through on today's session. So hopefully you'll leave with more clarity and easier decision-making processes going forward after today's session. Okay. So I don't know how to run a business. This is a major concern, I'm guessing, for you and probably others that you've spoken to about your business in times before. Okay, so there's a wealth of resources at your fingertips. Okay, now let's talk about what these are specifically. We've got social media, first of all. Okay, so we've got Facebook, we've got LinkedIn, we've got Twitter, we've got YouTube, we've got all these really cool bits of media that we can use to train and educate ourselves in many, many different ways. Now, with social media, many of us view it as a leisurely activity, something that we scroll through, something that we peruse just on a daily basis. It's pretty normal for us to jump on Facebook for 30 minutes whilst we're on the train, or whilst we're chilling at nighttime, or we go on TikTok, or whatever we do. Okay, but it is absolutely crucial to bear in mind that social media like Facebook, like LinkedIn, like TikTok can actually be used in a productive way as well. Okay, we can learn how to do things, we can interact in groups, we can network with valuable people, valuable contacts to help us expand our knowledge, learn things, read things, watch things that we haven't seen before. Okay, we're learning all the time. So we can use this social media to our advantage. We don't need to put ourselves on a social media ban to be productive. Just when you're on TikTok the next time, look for something, look for cool business tips, look for marketing ideas, look for cool advertising campaigns. Invest your time into something worth looking at. Okay, we've also got search engines. I would be surprised if there was something that you look for on a search engine that you couldn't find. Okay, now this comes in many, many different ways. We can look at articles, we can look at blogs, we can read content, we can look up videos, we can look up specific courses even that we want to learn. There is a wealth of information and a wealth of resources right at our fingertips. Okay, we've got mentors and coaches. You're on this webinar with a business coach right now learning, hopefully, new and valuable information. But there are mentors and coaches in so many different fields and so many productive topics like sales, marketing, advertising, general business, business growth, okay, business management, startup businesses. There is so much value there for you to enjoy from these people who are more than happy to share their time, resources, and knowledge for you. Now, sometimes they'll do it for free. Sometimes they will ask for payment, okay? Now, anything that you choose to do here is absolutely fine. You've got to make sure that you're looking for the right coach. You've got to make sure that you're looking for the right mentor to suit you, okay? So bearing this knowledge in mind, you can go forwards and use that to your advantage. Next, we're looking at books, okay? When was the last time that you decided on a good book that you were going to read, that you were going to pick up and absorb the content for the right amount of time, for the right point of knowledge that you were looking for? Okay, once again, we circle back to 30 minutes a day. Is that something that you can achieve? Is that something that's viable for you? Okay, so when we're putting these books, when we're putting these pieces together, we've got to think about the right things for us, because many of us will just go and buy a book in business and we'll say, well, that'll do, that's fine. I think I could get value from that. Okay, when in actuality, maybe we need to be a little bit more specific. If a book on a certain topic bores us, go and find one that doesn't bore you. Books and educational content can be exciting. Okay, now I know I sound like a broken record, but it's because I'm so passionate about this kind of thing. The word books doesn't have to have a boring connotation. In video, some of us like to learn this way. Of course, we've got YouTube, which is an absolute leader in the video content industry. Okay, we've also got TikTok from social media there. Videos is some of the ways that we like to learn, some of the ways that we pick up content. There's nothing wrong with that. You shouldn't judge yourself, nor should you feel judged for learning whatever it is that you want to learn from videos. That's cool as well, okay? So once upon a time, every business owner didn't know how to run a business. And this is something I want you to bear in mind. Nobody just got started and knew everything there was to know about business right away. That didn't happen. They had to spend time learning, figuring things out, learning from other people, learning from people who have been there and done that. Okay, so once upon a time, every business owner didn't know how to run a business. Understand that and use it to your advantage. Give yourself a little bit of slack and say, hey, you know what? It's okay that I don't know everything right now, because I'm going to learn. And finally, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Learn in small stages and implement as you go. Look at it as a long race. Okay, it's a journey, not a destination. It's a marathon, not a sprint. You don't have to get from A to Z in a rapid format, in a rapid succession. You can take your time, you can learn, you can understand things, you can think about a better way to do stuff. Okay, it's a marathon. It's going to be a process. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither was your business. Nothing's going to happen overnight, but you will eventually begin to see the fruits of your labor over time. Okay, so make sure that you bear this in mind, that you give yourself some slack, and that you enjoy the benefits coming your way from consistently hard work. Okay, so that brings us to the end of topic number 3. We'll dive on to a recap now. Okay, so first of all, there is a buyer for the right offer. You need to bear this in mind. Don't worry if whatever it is that you have at the moment isn't selling. It could be the wrong buyer, it could be the wrong offer. Analyze this though and figure out what you can do better. There is time in your day somewhere, on the train, on the couch, instead of watching TV, before dinner, after you put kids down to bed. There will be time in your day somewhere to spend on your business. And nobody begins with all the knowledge, okay? Nobody has all the knowledge. Over time, we begin to learn what's effective, what works for us. Now, people reach different heights. You'll see different business success stories, in different ways. Some people like to help the community. Some people like to earn lots of money. Some people like to buy themselves more time and freedom, okay? Nobody begins with all the knowledge. So, as always, a massive thank you for taking the time to attend today's session. It's been an absolute pleasure spending the time with you today. If you'd like to talk to a member of our team, you're more than welcome to head over to iob-business.com/talk-to-us. And on here, you can go ahead and book a call at a time that suits you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the calendar up there for you just now. That's what it'll look like when you click on the link. And I'm going to grab the questions that I have from you today. Okay, cool. So first question, I'm convinced that if I launched a business, it would struggle. This is awesome. It's such a cool question / comment, because it's something that I honestly hear all the time, and I don't want you to worry about it. Okay. The step that comes before any other is your mindset. You've got to solve this first. You've got to begin to believe that, no, this will work. give yourself reasons that it will work instead of giving yourself a whole list of reasons, which I'm sure you have, that it won't work. Instead, next to that, start writing a list of reasons why it will work. Okay. Write a list of reasons why you're going to be successful, why you're going to be productive, why your business is going to be the success that you wish for it to be. All right. That will help. Great question. Thank you. Next question. Where do you recommend I start learning about launching a business? Cool. So I like to answer questions like this sometimes with a question of my own with how do you like to learn? Do you like to listen to webinars like you're doing just now? Do you like to watch videos? Do you like to listen to audio content? Do you like to read books? It's up to you. Pick the area of business that you're interested in. Pick the method of learning that you enjoy the most. So area of business would be digital marketing, sales, business growth, startup business, stuff like that. Method of learning would be audio, video, reading, actionable stuff like physically doing it, learning as you go. Figure that out. You can do courses, you can do workshops, you could speak with a mentor or a coach. You could even try a business simulation of sorts. Okay, so talk to those around you who know you as well as you do yourself and ask them, what do you think I would benefit from? How do you think I learn the best? Okay, it's very, very valuable. Rely on your circle, rely on those people around you. That's what I do, and it's infinitely valuable. Okay, another awesome question. Thank you so much for asking. All right, do we have any more questions from today? No, it looks like that is it then. Okay, wonderful. So as always, thank you ever so much for taking the time. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I can't wait to speak to you again on the next iOB business webinar. Take care and bye for now.